Hi, Shalini. Welcome to this series of conversations with About Her. And the idea behind these conversations is to get women achievers, who we call women trailblazers, to share the stories of their lives with us, to tell us about their struggles, challenges, ups and downs, and how they stuck to their chosen path. And we want you to inspire other women who are probably stuck somewhere in their lives, maybe because of their own inertia, or maybe because of family, or whatever it is that is stopping them from realizing their full potential. We want you to inspire them. And eventually, we want to build a community of women who are there to empower each other, support each other, learn from each other, and grow together. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. And let's get started. Yeah.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for having me. This is really an honor to be part of this. Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. Okay, so you've seen the question. So first one, of course, is just an icebreaker where you tell us about the story of your life.
Yeah, so I'm a Delhi born, brought up girl from a very simple middle class business family. My parents were both hardworking people. My mom started working and got into this beauty industry when I was as little as 4 years of age. And she went abroad, traveled when we were very little, me and my siblings, and she traveled and did her courses all over. And then so I've always seen her working, and that itself was inspiring for me. My biggest exposure was when she was the head of beauty therapy at the South Delhi Polytechnic, and she would get home students' exam papers and go through them along with us sitting. I mean, little did I know that this would be my calling in life. Yeah.
And so what about any childhood memory, anything that just pops up when you look back?
Yeah, it was always, in terms of seeing my mom getting out again from a very protected background where women were not getting enough exposure at that age, and she was going out and working every day, and how everyone, the whole family got together to support her. And we were three of us as children. We, just would come back, wait for her, of course, wait for the goodies we would get from the, abroad whenever she went. But yeah, more importantly, it was just seeing her, creating bonds, creating friendships, and doing good work out there and getting certificate after certificate. So yeah, it was.
So you studied in Delhi?
Yes, I'm a totally Delhi person, convent educated, and yes, yeah.
Okay, so school
and work,
college, and then
yeah, that's right. And I got into the corporate world later in my life. It was so as the industry. I mean, it wasn't like my first choice that I would follow my mom on her steps. I got into the corporate life, which was the more popular thing to do in ad and PR, and did my stint there. And it was only later on, I mean, if I want to continue that, how I got into this industry, that it's really when I saw, my mom creating this unique space in the industry. She was working at the Oberoi for 15 years and built a huge, lovely clientele. And she was very successful in what she was doing. And here I saw that she needed help in her communications. And she, sort of invited me to be part of her work to help her in her communication. And that's how I joined.
Okay.
Her. So it was really that's.
So a little bit about your educational background, since you say that you joined the corporate world, so you must have studied to be a part of that.
Yes, I've done my English honors from JMC, and I did my ad and PR after that while working. So that was something that I felt that I wanted to do it, and I was creative in many ways, and I pursued that. I joined 2-3 corporates with in their corporate communication department and in ad and PR in other companies. So it was really moving on that path. And so, yeah, the education did help my pursuit towards doing what I was working at. I did my courses while working in the companies. So it was going to work in the morning, coming and going in the afternoon, in the evening to do my course, and then yeah, so I completed that diploma course with that, and then I continued this. But of course, that learning has always helped me at every stage. So even if I'm not in that industry currently, it has helped me in every way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess advertising is something that you need in every industry, no matter what you do. So since you're doing your own work, so obviously you know how to, go about it. So these
Yes.
courses and diplomas that you're talking about, these had to do with advertising, right?
This was for advertising, that's right. And then, of course, when I joined my mom's work, I started helping her with her website. I did extensive research since she was such an internationally qualified person. I was only looking at that level of research for
Mm-hmm.
the website, for building her communication. So with simple newsletter designing and stuff like that, they send out to the customers on a regular basis. So this required a lot of research and designing and a website along with another professional. And that attracted me. And then I joined her, of course, and under her uh, very strict training. I was in the business of beauty, of doing treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I did my advanced courses abroad as well. And
Okay.
that's something that you really need. You need to do something beyond just something which is handed down to you. You need to take it forward. You need to take it to the next level. So I constantly felt that that's something I need to do to keep learning, keep growing, keep educating myself.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So, so you're saying that it was the reason why you got into this space was your mom, because you had seen her there and kind of just to help her, you got into it. And then, of course, you got hooked. Is that how you
Yes,
like to
yes,
put it?
totally. Yes, I was blessed that I had a ready-made industry. Yes, I do count my blessings there. And I had a clientele which was just walking in, and so she was there, and I did got onto this, which a lot of people do get opportunities. Sometimes they take them, sometimes they don't. So I just chose to switch to this because, of course, she was very successful, and I knew that she needed help in her communications. But yeah, then a lot of self learning, a lot of self taught. I mean, today we have the internet, we have so much exposure to just keep learning. I'm part of, of a lot of blogs and a lot of things to date. I'm opening and reading what is the latest internationally, because
Mm.
that's where a lot of research happens.
Yeah.
And so, yes, there's constant, yes, of course, my mom was a big part in this. She was, very well loved and accepted in the Delhi circles for her, great hands, her magic hands. And so whatever she did was something which she did passionately. And I saw that.
Wonderful. Okay. So, of course, now this was like a career switch, if I may say so, that you were working in the corporate world and then you decided to switch over. So that means you basically worked in two kinds of spaces, if I may put in. I mean, you were working for someone and then you chose to work for yourself. So, some of the challenges that you may have faced in this journey?
Oh, yes, certainly. I think challenges are always there. It's how you take them on. And I would say, to begin with, of course, it was, being changing city. It's when I moved from Delhi to Gurgaon, I had to build from scratch. It was completely left to myself. Like I said, I had no dearth of clients walking in and me just treating them in Delhi with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And here I was starting fresh, where little to no one knew my mom and my background. So that was a huge challenge, and really telling people where I fit in. And people were randomly going to buying products for skincare or running to dermatologists for the smallest of concerns. And my mom had this unique space where she, as an esthetician or as a skin specialist, that's what internationally the term is called, because they are somewhere in between, just short of a dermatologist. So that is something, an esthetician does. They do treatments which are mildly invasive. So that industry was very little to not known at all. It was just normal facials and parlors and stuff. So yes, it was a challenge to start afresh, to build a clientele.
Mhm.
And the second challenge I would say was that I was this, if I may put it as an analogy, like a corner bookstore. I was this small space in a market, and as against pitted against big brands and chains where they offered a lot of services. And here I was just doing skin treatments. They were working like Swiss knives and offering services. And so a lot of people walked by and actually wondered as to, how long is it before she gets washed away, and to prove myself constantly that I'm here as a skincare, specialist. And I continue to do my bit and didn't deter, I think. And here I am. It's been 8 years, and I'm yeah, on my own, and running the space as again, even despite the big chains around me, Kaya and Gitanjali and VLCC. So yes, that's it's I've managed to hold my own despite the challenges.
I think it's, if you are good at what you are doing, then sooner or later people will realize that. And, because I think big chains are commercial, they have other things that they are probably paying more attention to. It may not be the right thing to say, but I think when you come to an individual, it's more personalized, and the setup also feels more at home. And I think these kind of things eventually they do work. That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, a lot of my clients believe that too, because yes, I do work with my hands, and I have, you know, really barely any assistance. So it's really, I'm looking at every skin and giving it my best. And like you said, it is with passion,
Hmm.
and that's, where you sort of, you can take on any business, any role, any job, but if you are not giving it your 100% or not doing it with sincerity, there is at some point of time it's going to die down. So that's something that I realized, and I didn't know that till I worked at it, that this is something that I'm loving and enjoying, changing people's lives. Um, and being a like almost a mentor sometimes, the people talk to, they open their hearts out, and it felt good that I could let them open up and speak out on them, plus making a difference to their skin. So that was hugely satisfying, and that's something that kept me going. But that's the sincerity that I work with, just giving it my 100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell me something. Of course, you are in an industry which caters to women, so your clients are largely women. But of course, you are, operating in a world which is dominated by the other gender. So, any challenges that you faced because of the fact that you're a woman?
It's like you said, yes, and in a patriarchal society that we live in, it's not easy for a woman to break away from the norm and go out there into the big bad world and do their thing. And there's always a little bit of hesitation, prejudices, and people, naysayers, out there. But I would say yes. I mean, if I was in a marketplace for 7 years, and it was, I was there by myself, and I would have men walk in, and the beauty industries has many prejudices with it, so they would actually sometimes come and ask me, I mean, do I do massages and all that? I mean, I would just say, and firmly and politely and say no. So it just, of course, some of them have, it's just that you keep doing your thing and earn their respect at the end of it. And they have actually come to me and asked me for advice on their skin later on. So I would say yes, that is always thing, but you just have to be there, gritty, and stand your own. And of course, you have to sort of not be this extra aggressive just because you have to fight battles with them. But there is a better way. There's always a firm, polite way, and that's what I think managed to,
True. So
get
I
by
think it's
these.
eventually you let your work speak for yourself rather than
Yes,
trying to,
totally.
yes, be aggressive and be pushing. All right. So of course, a woman has always like, multiple hats to wear, juggle so many balls. So how do you balance all those balls, all those roles that you have to play?
Yeah, that's a challenge we all women face, I think. And being a Libran, balance is a big thing for me. So my scales are always topsy-turvy till I get that balance, and that's where I find my peace.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so I think at any stage in my life, I was firstly, of course, very lucky to have my mom, be my mentor, and with her I could take the liberty of having my son around me when he was little. And later on, of course, I did take my call when I was on my own that I will give my priority to my family. They are my backbone. My son, till he needed me, I was around. I was part of the PSA in the school. I was doing everything around wherever he needed. I was trying to run back from my work because I could in my own work and be there for him when he got back from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely consciously spend quality other than quantity time. And that was a huge satisfying thing. Plus, as a personal growth, I went out and did my yoga teachers training for a month, and that also I took a call when my son was old enough to handle himself, and of course with support of my husband. So it just all fell in place because I prioritized different things at different times, and when I didn't sort of allow anything. But yes, I understand when women are in jobs in the corporate world, it doesn't come that easy. And so I know of my clients who are constantly torn because they feel they have the guilt factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really feel that one thing of starting creches in corporate, offices would really help, at least for women to have, be there with their kids and all around.
Yeah. So it's a tough one, but yes, as you rightly said, if you are able to prioritize, like if you know when to do what, then I think largely you're able to make things fall in place because you give importance to the most important thing, the most critical thing
Correct.
at a particular point. All right. So looking back, what has been your biggest success so far?
Yeah, taking forward from what I just spoke, I think my, the balance that I managed to maintain in my family and all, I would say just seeing my son brought up as a confident child. And today, wherever he is, he's always thanking us for giving him a great childhood
Mm-hmm.
and the memories that he's had. I think more than financial and fame, success, I think that is something that really, really makes me happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And professionally, your
Yeah,
success?
professionally to be able to, achieve this, where I am today, despite all the challenges that I've spoken, to be have my mom be proud of me, the new products and ranges that I have trained and brought in the industry, and I'm offering that to my clients who love it, and and the friendships that I've fostered with in this industry. It's truly the biggest joy for me to wake up every morning and be excited for the day. I guess
Wonderful.
that's a huge high for me.
I agree. So of course you love your work and you love what you're doing, but I'm sure there are days which are not so good. Bad days we all have when you don't want to do anything, which maybe just sit and lounge at home. So how do you work on yourself to stay motivated, stay on the path?
Oh, I love my yoga. I love my workout. That's something which has given me, generally a good health, fitness routine. Uh, Not just sitting back, not just sitting back. I don't, want to just ever be. I mean that doesn't come in my head to just sit back and feel unhappy or depressed and not. I think it's just needs to come from within, whether it's putting on some good music and doing a little exercise and walk, and so that, and plus of course my clients, the feedback I get, their love, even the fact that they recommend. That's the way mostly I work, is word of mouth. They recommend my name. It just keeps motivating me to give them better and more services and doing better in whatever I'm doing. It just keeps me, just makes me get up and go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're down and out, you think about what you can do to make some kind of difference to a person's life, a woman's life, and okay, that's great. So where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Doing the same thing, becoming bigger here, or maybe doing something else?
Yeah, I guess I mean, now that COVID has taught us not to plan so much in advance, I don't know where but yes, certainly doing the same and in a bigger, better way, getting more treatments and products. I do wish at some point of time to be in the education space
Oh,
like you,
okay.
and teaching.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
I'm still sort of work out what I do want to, and as the time goes by. But yes, that really is something that really I wish to do.
Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
Great. So, as a person, as a woman, what would you say are some of the learnings of your life? I mean, some life lessons which life has taught you, which you would like to share with others?
Yes, the main thing is to give 100% to whatever you do with sincerity and passion. Just go all out. Learning, growing, educating myself constantly is something I've realized has helped me, and it's the biggest learning. That's what I need to keep doing. It is a fast-paced industry with new things coming up. The other, which I feel my yoga teachings have taught me, is to constantly keep positivity around me. That will attract positive people. So I consciously make a decision to not keep negative people around me, and value the positive people around me. So I think that's something that I want to constantly strive for, and thankfully I have managed to do that quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, just going at it, just being positive and constantly learning. I think that's something that is two things that I feel.
Okay. All right. So, a woman who is successful, who's made a name for herself, how does the world react to her? So, when I say the world, both men and women,
Mm.
because you see, with success comes a lot of independence. So, it's not
Yes.
only making a name for yourself, but being independent in many ways. So, how does the world take to that?
Yeah, so I think I had a precedence in my mother, and today, with me being in this as a woman, it's something which, just like I said earlier, if you just keep at it, you earn the respect over time. I have been fortunate that, I had a mentor as my mom who was, out there constantly keeping a hand over me, and that helped me. But I think I have a very supportive women network. A lot of uh, support. My aunt in the US is an esthetician as well. My family, my in-laws, my everyone have been very supportive, I would say. It's a great high. My clients are my women clients. I have male clients as well, who are my flag bearers. I feel they are constantly boosting me up. So I have been lucky, very fortunate. I think women can be complicated. I know where that question might come from, but it's also how you show them as to where they, and I feel compassion for them, those who are in that space where they are negative or whatever. But I think by and large, I have had the immense support of my family and a lot of my clients who are women.
Okay. But the fact that you are independent, because you see, when, like I said, so when you start earning yourself, you have independence, you're emotionally, financially independent. So does that make a difference in relationships or in how people perceive you?
Yes, I think they do feel that, here she is out there and very confident and overconfident at some time, and you speak up and all that, and it's looked at, okay, because she's, today it's not something that one needs to keep proving yourself. Your work should speak for itself. Your mannerism, your attitude is what speaks for yourself. And just because you're out there and you're successful and you're working, you don't need to bring back that to your family and your home. Yes, I think that's something we all do feel, that it's, you are a woman and you're a mother and you're a wife and you're a whatever you are in the house. So whatever you are, it's great to do it out and you keep working at it, but you have different hats to wear and roles to play. So your role doesn't end in other aspects. So it's not something that you need to prove to anybody. Your work is out there and you can do whatever best you can in the house, and people will fall in place and it falls in line. So I don't know if I'm answering this question
Yes,
right,
you
but
are.
I
You
feel
made
that
a
that's,
very important point, that you don't have
yes,
to flaunt it. It's there,
you don't have.
it's a given, and that's the way. I mean, I think if you talk more about these things, you're drawing attention to it, and then maybe, it just kind of reeks of
Backfires.
negativity
Yes,
or something. Yeah. So very
correct.
well. I think that was very well put. Okay, so just an observation that when you look around you, you see a number of people, in their midlives, say mid 40s or early 40s, are changing careers, switching gears, as I like to put it. And, they're
Yes.
starting to do something completely different. So why do you think this is happening?
I have observed that as well. I think because a lot of women have, of course, education has happened. They've been trained, they're educated, and they've probably worked right after their, graduation and then life, sort of plays out. They get married, they have children. They do end up, I guess, taking a sabbatical, and they feel the, need to be there for their children. And it's after a while, once the kids are settled, they feel the urge and that need for being financially independent. I know of a lot of my clients who are in that position and they're torn. And so I think they do feel that they need to get back to it. And I think that's the age group, mid 30s and 40s, is when they start looking at something to make their life more meaningful. And so I think that's something which has is happening a lot now. And I feel to I mean, that's my advice to them, is to, yeah, not be frustrated about it, to constantly keep the keep looking at what your calling is, knowing what you can do today. You can work from home, you can be an entrepreneur at home. I think the opportunities are huge, which weren't there when I was a young girl. And it's not a problem. People are looking at work which can be work from home. So it's I think, yes, that's happening a lot. So I think that's I'm talking about from the point of view of even my clients who are constantly thinking what they can do once their kids are around, and now they're settled, and what they can do to get back into the life of work.
But even men, for that matter, I mean, if you see some of them, a banker turning an author, a doctor getting in, starting an NGO. I mean, all kinds of completely different things, which are like, absolutely different from what they initially started doing in life. So why do you think
Yeah,
that is?
yeah. It's also a realization that you need to feed your own personal your needs of higher needs than just having money and fame and all that. There are those in that pyramid of needs, your top needs, where you find far more satisfaction.
Yeah, yeah.
You find far more growth as a person.
Mm.
So that, I think, is something which is you don't get it just because you're chasing money, career, the next job, and the next car, and the next house. It doesn't give you, like in my yoga teacher says very commonly, is that at one scoop of ice cream you
Mhm.
will love it, but your second scoop will not give you the same satisfactions. And so that is something which
And
they
still
say,
marginal
that
utility, yes.
yes, it's not all, your next thing which is going to. So I think that is coming to onto people much earlier, because they're working, they're getting money earlier. The jobs are, the salaries are so huge at that early age, that they realize that this is not it. I have people I know who have settled in Goa, and they're all qualified and everything, and they're running huge, beautiful, successful careers, but in a small town like that, but living the life of their dreams. So it's lovely. Yeah, it's good that that realization comes, because I think COVID has taught us a lot, and this is one of them. That what do you need, what do you want to chase, um, you know, uh, yeah, tangible things for,
Hmm.
and never satisfy you completely.
So now, any piece of advice that you would like to share with young women, young girls who are on the threshold of their, professional lives, personal lives, anything that you would like to tell them to do or not to do?
Um, I think most important thing is to never sell yourself short. Whatever you do has to be with 100%, passion. Um, that's something that applies to, I guess, men as well. Wherever you do, and it's not just chasing money, but doing something that you love and enjoy. And that's something that I feel that they can do much more with their career and life, or whatever that they do, is by giving it full sincerity and passion.
Okay.
Keep growing, keep learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that has to be done, because life is not, the world is changing. There's a lot of, I mean, look at Chat GPT, look at everything. There's tomorrow will be somebody who will sort of road roll you. So it's just constantly working on yourself, your health, your personal life, as well as your career. Just keep growing.
Okay. And anything in particular for young girls?
Uh, I think
Anything that you've learned from your experience as a woman that maybe I should have
that
done this and not done this?
there are going to be negative naysayers. This life is, it happens in everybody's life. There is there's bullyism starts from school itself. There's a whole lot of, so it's just, just learning to grow over that. It is going to happen. It's going to, doing everything to motivate yourself. Keep good, positive, strong friends and people around you. That gives you a big high. It will constantly keep making you stand up if you fall down. So it's just foster great relations.
Okay, now Lexi, a woman's life, I feel, is more challenging than a man's. One thing is that we have so many roles to play, so that makes it, very difficult. So sometimes, whether a girl should work or not, if I work, then how much attention should I pay to my work? And then, there are all kinds of things that women have to face, which men generally don't have to. So from that perspective, what would you like to?
I think there's no need to prove yourself that you're a woman. You have to work and you have to be financially independent. It's just the thing nowadays. You just need to get out of the world. You need to be financially independent. And if you do something that you love, that's an icing on the cake. So it's I think it's definitely much tougher. The challenges of having, I remember when I was newly married and I was in a corporate life and all that. I had to come back home and act the role of a new daughter-in-law. And I know these are things which everybody has to go through, and it'll just be a sweet memory from where you learn from and you grew and you stood your ground, and you continued with doing what you did without spoiling things around. And I think it's going to be there. The challenges will be there. They're different for different people. But it's just just digging in your heels and just getting out there. I think that is been the pretty much my and of course wanting certain things, actually digging deeper and knowing what you wish for, what will give you, so like a yoga teacher's training, I was always very passionate to do, look after my health and look after my personal growth. So I wanted to do deeper education on yoga. So that's the reason. So it's really, it could be something else. You might want to do deep sea diving, or you want to do something. So do not lose sight of that as well. So but it's the done thing. I think just working is not to prove a point or anything. It's definitely a must to get out into the world and do anything. Yeah.
So basically getting out into the world, creating your own identity, I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
That mold where probably our mothers were, maybe not your mother, but a lot of our mothers were, somebody's wife and somebody's daughter and somebody's daughter-in-law. But it's critical to have your own identity. And then, of course, everything else will fall in place as you, move ahead. Like you said, know what you're doing and also love what you're doing. So you will kind of,
and having said that, I feel not to discount the fact that a housewife or a homemaker is, it falls short of anything. I mean, if they can keep a good home and relations and family, it's a huge task by itself.
It is.
And it's just that it should satisfy you, and that should be your ultimate, which makes you happy and not frustrated at the end of it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've heard many times that they say a woman is a woman's worst enemy. Is that true?
I'm speaking personally. Like I said, I have had a support of a lot of women, be it my women in my family, my friends, my clients. I think I was very blessed. But like I said, this question, I understand where it's coming from. Women tend to be more complicated. They do have a certain, competitiveness or whatever it might be, because I feel sorry for them in a way, because they are coming from a space which is not happy. They are not in a space where it's happy. So I actually feel compassion for them. But by and large, I think I have had immense support, I would say, and that is my blessing. My clients who are women are, like I said, my flag bearers. They're the ones because of which I am here today, and of course, you know. It's something that I cherish because that's something that is the biggest so women for that matter, I don't, it's how you take them. So I have women who have you know not been the best in the sense, but like I said, I do feel sorry for them for where they come from. But yeah, I think
So that means
I'm not sure.
the society has labeled it like that. So even a man could be a man's worst enemy, right? Why only women? I think any individual, it's not to
I
do with the
I
gender,
agree.
it's to do
Yeah.
with the situation and what a person is going through. There could be, anything that they are coming from. So
It's just a human nature for to feel sorry for a person who's who is in a sadder space and all that. For
yeah,
the
so that
person who's confident and happy, and people are there to sort of it's like to hit out on or whatever, because they feel, oh, they're already so high, and they because their energies are not that good, so they feel, I feel that's also something which people feel, only sorry and sad for those who are not doing that well, or who are unhappy, or are they ill or whatever. But I mean, there is challenges are with everybody, so I think that something women, general human nature is like
it's
that.
human nature. So I think it's not right to say that. And I think
Yeah.
somewhere we women should try and dispel that rather than saying a woman is a woman's worst enemy, it could be anyone. You can't say
Hmm.
men are not like that.
No,
I think
totally, totally,
anyone can
totally.
feel
I
jealous
agree.
or frustrated. Okay.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So finally, can a woman have it all?
Oh, wow. Who wants to have it all? I feel that I, want to constantly strive and keep working at something. I want to not, I mean, you have it all and you're dead, right? I feel that for me.
Okay.
I want that, I want to have some sites out there to work at always and wake up and work towards it. So, I don't know if but I think looking at from your question, what you're looking at is probably why not? I think, yeah, I think it's you wish for this much, you will get this much, that's fine, but you at least keep working at it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we do have it all, right? If we can manage to achieve success in our work and our families and our house and our health, everything, it's this is all that one needs. It depends on what you're looking for
So
also.
I think maybe, like, as I read somewhere, you cannot have it all at the same time. You can't you have to choose. So, but ultimately, if you are happy with whatever you've got, I think that's like having it all. Because I think ultimately it's happiness and satisfaction,
Like
which,
I told you, that one scoop of ice cream could be
yes,
all.
yes,
Whereas that
yes,
person keeps desiring for the second scoop. So which is the all you're looking at? And it's really, you can stop at the one scoop and be happy.
we
And
have.
that's good
Absolutely.
enough.
Okay. So that's it. And thank you very much. It was indeed
Thank you,
wonderful
Sangeeta.
connecting
This
with
was
you.
so much fun. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.